Hello and welcome, members of the Wandaverse. I'm Hannah.
And I'm producer Nick.
And you are listening to episode 44 of Into the Wandaverse, your one and only source into all things Scarlet Witch and friends. And we are ready to go this week.
You're very perky.
Yeah, well, I think it's important that we start. I mean, we've had a lot of good news as a fandom, and also the direction. So I'm going to talk about the little bits of merch tea that we have, and then I'm also gonna talk about the negatives and positives of the statement that's making, basically, which sounds mysterious, but I promise it will make sense. It will all make sense in a minute.
Is it very Mysterio?
Oh, possibly. Who knows?
You see what they did there?
I saw it. I realized it. I actualized it, and I processed it. So we got the news that Wanda will be featured in the new Pop Mart blind box collection. It is getting its first release in the Asian market, which is always the way for Pop Mart boxes. These are called the Infinite series. They are moments from the MCU, but they do include Doctor Doom, which is slightly confusing, but they are definitely the MCU versions of these characters, and most of them seem to be moments from the MCU. So a little bit confusing as to why Doom is included, unless it's a potential spoiler. But I just think maybe it's supposed to get us hype. I mean, apparently we're getting the Doomsday trailer any day now. So
I mean, it's I think it's going to be attached to Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Well, you can tell me about it because I won't be there. But yeah, it's it. But the thing I'm going to note about this series is that they're all moments from the series, and you've got Thanos with the coming through with the Space Stone, you've got little Groot, you've got Spider-Man defeating Sandman, you've got just a Hulk smash, you've got Doctor Strange with the portals, you've got Iron Man, and then Vision, Wanda, Loki, Doctor Doom, Ant-Man coming through the quantum tunnel, Thor crossing the Rainbow Bridge, and then Captain America. You'll notice that there's only one woman.
Yeah, I just kind of noticed that when you stopped talking. I was like,
They are little
is there
magnets,
more?
so they're all coming out of a. There'll be a secret, but I'm not sure what the secret is. I doubt it'll be a woman. um, but yeah, and then, but she's the only woman there. And then the other little piece of excitement that we have is there is a new series called the Cutie Clips, which they are a series of bag clips. We've got Spider-Man, Thor, Wanda, Groot, Rocket, and Iron Man. And you'll notice that once again, there's only one woman.
There are two non-human characters and one woman.
Mm-hmm. And this is not new, but
I'm aware.
historically it would have been Natasha is the only woman. And then we went through a very brief moment where Captain Marvel was the only woman.
And the Wasp at one point, maybe?
Sometimes, well, the Wasp would only get included usually in comic lineups as the woman sometimes, but usually you'd have Natasha as well.
Yeah.
But now you'll notice that Wanda has become the default woman, which says a lot about where we are in terms of Wanda's popularity
You have to have the token woman.
but her ability to sell merch,
Yeah.
especially it's very telling that, Pop Mart have shifted from she's now been the only woman in two separate Pop Mart releases.
Hang on. When you say Pop Mart, you mean the people responsible for the Labubus?
Yes.
Okay.
The number one collector's market kind of in the world now.
Yeah.
It is the,
Because
we don't have.
what was the one we went to in Glasgow? That was
That's Kenji. Kenji doesn't
Kenji.
produce their own blind boxes. Miniso does.
And
So
then there's the Miniso.
we've never had a Miniso Wanda yet. So I'm
Right.
looking at you, Miniso, because I'm a Miniso girly. Because we don't have Pop Mart in Scotland. Full stop. There's no Pop Mart in
Yeah, that's
Scotland.
true. There isn't one yet.
No, they keep they keep opening them in England. There's like so many now. Like Cambridge and Oxford have gotten a Pop Mart before Glasgow or
I mean,
Edinburgh.
that's probably because people who live in Cambridge and Oxford can probably afford Labubus.
I just think that the lack of Pop Mart in Scotland needs to be studied.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, is there one in Newcastle?
yeah, I think there. I'm not sure. Hang on. But
I'm
while
asking the
I'm
big
checking,
questions here.
while I'm checking this, yeah, it's. Oh, here's um the announcement post. Let me see if it's got a. They hadn't got a release date last time I looked, but no, that's Indonesia. Pop Mart Indonesia. They're releasing on the 12th of December in Asian markets, so we'll probably see them maybe in January. They are
Okay.
blind boxes, so I will try and just purchase her secondhand, just out of box because I don't care about getting any of the rest of these.
I mean, if you
Um,
pulled a Spider-Man one, I'll be happy with it.
yeah, well, I know that. Literally on the floor of my room right now, I have like a bunch of more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stickers for you.
Very nice.
Right now, this is like for Nick. I have this massive collection of trading cards, and I each week I put together a little like envelope full of trading cards for him to open. Um, and I just did it this morning, and you can tell what kind of mood I'm in with him based on the people I put inside the envelope. This week, the envelope is a lot more positive than last week's.
Yeah, last week you were a bit mean to me.
This week is less mean and also a little bit themed.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, so whenever we're recording the commentaries, Nick's mood will probably be based on what came out of the envelope this week. But yeah, it's the so the Pop Mart one will be widely available. I have spoken to the creators of Simba, who are the creators of the bag clips. They are currently available in the European market, so they are prominently available in Portugal and Spain and Italy. They are not currently available in the UK market, but we do tend to get them. They're a very UK based company, so I would expect to see them come here at some point.
Do you want to know something?
Yes.
If you type in Pop Mart Wanda into Google,
Mm-hmm.
your unboxing video comes up as one of the first results on the images and on the videos.
Well, look at that. Look at that.
Because you did
Yeah,
you did
both
an
of the different
unbox
ones. Oh
you
my
did like an
gosh,
unboxing thing, didn't you,
I
for
did for
the
the I love that Wanda photo frame series. Again, if
and
they had some more characters that I would get the Bucky one if I had the money. If they I would have loved if they did an Agatha. They wouldn't do that, but like I would love it.
I just thought I because I googled it because I just wanted to get a picture of what this what Wanda looked like, and lo and behold, I see Wanda Maximoff,
It's
the
the second
Wandaverse.
result, the Instagram Wonderverse one that is the one that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Um So the little plush bag clip is now like top of my list. I want her. So if you are in Portugal or Spain and you happen to see one, I will pay you for it if you will send it to me because I want one. Because as you guys know, plush are like, in fact, I would probably take like three because I would put one on my purse, display one, like, live love. She's so cute and I need her. I literally messaged Simba and I was like, "Can I buy one?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "Fine, I guess. I'll give you my money, please, please." But Simba are responsible for Jada toys and a bunch of other smaller Marvel things. So hopefully, since the Scarlet Witch is now entering their rotation of characters, like Simba make, and I see them in B&M all the time, the like die cast metal cars that come with a figure and are like themed to each Avenger. I would love one of those of Wanda because cars plus Wanda. Wow. Wow, we love that. Yay.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
wow.
Thank you. I was
That's
waiting
right.
for you to say wow.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, it shows Wanda's impact and kind of how much she's now become a prominent character within the Marvel universe. It's disappointing that Wanda's come up has meant the end of other women being included, but it does show the brand consciousness that she has and the fact that you know, we did it, guys. We hit the mainstream. You know, I did not think we would be here. When I started my collection, I would be like, please include Wanda.
I,
And now
I
she's
I
starting to
remember
be
those
included.
conversations where or I remember just going we obviously we do a lot of charity shop hunting with together, and a lot of the Marvel stuff, and like the token woman is usually
Nah.
nah. So yeah, give it another 7-8 years and these things will end up in charity shops for you to buy then. Uh,
Exactly. But yeah, it's good and bad in that obviously I'm glad to see that it's Wanda that is the token woman, but if we could move past the token woman trope,
yeah.
that would be amazing.
I mean, like, we got Storm, Jean Grey, Emma Frost. I'm just naming X-Men because of a comic that we're going to be talking about this episode.
Well, I,
Um,
I think that as we move forward in the MCU, it'll be very interesting to see the consciousness. But I mean, what we're talking about essentially, a lot of these like the collectors projects is maybe a different thing. Like Pop Mart maybe is different, but like these like little kids toys, which is what cutie clips are. They're like a little bag clip for kids. Wanda still hasn't really made her impact upon like kids television yet, so I'm interested to see how that will develop. And I think that something like House of Harkness, keep buying the stuff, keep buying it for your kids, keep, getting that brand consciousness up. I've been saying this literally since we started the podcast. The more we move with our money, the more we will get. Like these companies only care about money. And so, also we saw Lizzie talking a lot about how they make Avengers movies this week. Did you know that?
I did not see that, no.
She is on the press tour for Eternity right now.
Huh.
And funnily enough, she has this gorgeous dark hair right now, which would match up to what we're hearing about the Uncanny Avengers fit.
Okay.
And she has this gorgeous dark hair, and she's saying, how she talked in the present day. She said how we film Avengers movies, and again, she could be talking obviously about Infinity War and then an Endgame. I don't know. She said the way she said it, she was like, so how we film Avengers movies, like present day. She was like, obviously, we kind of know this story is that they go in and they get to read, well, she gets to go in and read the script in an office, but she can't take it away with her. And she only really gets to read her bits and learn her bits. And then obviously on set, they describe what's happening around her. And she talked about it like she had just done it. It was very interesting that she would bring that up.
Okay.
Um, we know that reshoots are currently going on. So something to think about. Something for the summertime, something for the girls. We also have heard that there will be new screenings of Avengers Endgame that will include a brand new post-credit scene that leads directly into Doomsday.
Okay.
So that's something to note as well. It's being called I think it's very interesting that they I mean it's a marketing technique because of the way the Marvel universe has gone recently, but they are calling Avengers Secret Wars a direct sequel to Endgame.
But not to Doomsday.
That's what I mean. No, Doomsday, sorry.
Oh,
Doomsday, a direct
yeah.
sequel. Sorry, I got them the wrong way around.
No, you're right.
Um, a direct sequel to Endgame, meaning that if they're saying you can skip the whole MCU up until the last thing you saw was Endgame, you don't have to see anything else.
Yeah.
I think is the message we're being given.
Okay.
I don't think that's true, but it's certainly a good marketing technique. I can't fault them for the attempt.
Okay.
Um, But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with news. Lizzie again talking very positively about Marvel, which is interesting. Lots of new Wanda products coming. Obviously, we're still building up to the new Sorcerer Supreme Wanda moment. Very exciting to be doing that. I think I got my order finalized for like I've ordered a bunch of the alternative covers, obviously.
Have you finally got One World Under Doom number issue 9?
No, it hasn't come yet.
You still haven't got that. Is
No,
that through Forbidden Planet?
I think it's because they do this thing where they try and save packages. I think they've maybe put it in with other comics that I've ordered, and that's why it's not come.
Okay.
But I got my alternative cover with Zantana and Wanda on the other day.
I did see that. You did show me that. It's really, really
It's
cool.
gorgeous. I love it so much. I That's another one I want to put in a frame for sure. You know, I have my art wall. That's I want
Yeah.
that to go up there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So yeah, this week Nick messaged me and he was like, "What do you want to cover this week?" And I thought about obviously the fact that Wonder Man is coming and maybe we should start on that. But because we are currently seeing in the Avengers parks, if you haven't tuned into the last couple of episodes and you don't know, in the on Avengers campus right now in the parks, we are seeing, and you'll notice in merchandising, she's never in the Multiverse of Madness. We are exclusively seeing good Wanda. And there is this image transformation being done of Wanda as like an inherently good person, which is good, you know? That's what I wanted for her. And so we're seeing that kind of across the board is that in the park she's no longer corrupted by the dark hold. The merch that's coming out, literally everyone's in my messages like, in the WandaVision costume again, why? She has a more recent costume. And I'm like, because they kind of know what they did was a mistake in terms of her fan base and her popularity. So she is wearing the Multiverse of Madness costume in the parks, but she's not corrupted anymore. I'm
Yeah,
so surprised I mean, I think it's very interesting that they've chosen to do that though, because it means that they are saying that her present is that she's a good person and not like her past, because they could set her within the WandaVision timeline if they wanted to. They do it with the Disney princesses all the time, where there's like when Ariel has her tail, her story hasn't happened yet, essentially. But we're seeing this overhaul of Wanda's image, where in the comics she is a bastion of good. We're seeing in the parks they're making her good. They're very much focused on this Avenger Wanda. And so I wanted to take a little throwback to, if you guys obviously we're still kind of in the most recent Wanda run. I would say the Sorcerer Supreme run is the first time we are moving away from the 2023 run, which kind of started, and obviously it's had a bunch of kind of revamps and mini series along the way. But I would say Sorcerer Supreme is is the first fresh storyline we've kind of done. But I wanted to throw back to 2021, which is the Trial of Magneto, which was spoilers. If you've not read it yet, go and read the Trial of Magneto and then come back, because this is not a spoiler-free moment. We're going to talk about it in depth. But this was, and they tried to do it several times before in the comics, which I'm sure we'll come back to. They had tried to recenter Wanda as a heroine, but this was basically her her hero moment. 2021 is this about the same time WandaVision is coming out. We are doing Wanda as a heroine in the MCU. Wanda is a very sympathetic character. And then we also get Trial of Magneto, which has some of the most gorgeous cover art, both variant and regular art covers that I have ever seen in my life. And I would do anything to own them. And they're so expensive. But this came out in 2021, right after August 2021, right after WandaVision. So like perfect timing, and is a really good like mini series. It's a limited series. It's only 5 issues. It's a self-contained story. It is an X-Men story, but it does have other elements to it. We're going to focus on the Wanda element because obviously it was tying in the Krakoa plot line.
Yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to kind of touch on. So I remember this starting out in July 2019. This is the House of X and Powers of X storyline, which led into Dawn of X. So this was October 2019 to November 2020, and I remember this, and this was like a storyline that I really started to try and get my teeth into, and then fell apart pretty quickly because there was just so many issues to kind of catch up on it week by week. This was the Krakoan Age series of X-Men storylines, which was like Jonathan Hickman was very much leading this run
Yep.
after his Avengers, new Avengers stuff he did in 2015, I think. Um, Now I'm a fan of Jonathan Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, and and I can't remember if I read the his Avengers line. I think I did. Can't remember. So I was kind of looking forward to this Dawn of X. This whole thing rebranding. Like I remember the graphic design of the X logo, and just the direction they were going with it was really 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 quite cool. I just really fell off pretty quickly with kind of trying to catch up with everything. So my goal at some point is to kind of go through this series. Um, so when you said, "Oh, I want to do Trial of Magneto," my first thought was, "Oh, you're talking about the one from the 80s."
No, no.
Which I was honestly thinking, you know what, like that's cool. That's really
Wanda's not
cool.
even in it.
I was yeah, but I didn't know that. I was like, because I said try to Magneto. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was a run like in the 80s, and lo and behold, I did a bit of thing, and it is. It was
Do
Chris
you know
Claremont
what
and John Romita
is
Jr.
really funny?
What?
So I work for a library, everyone knows this. I wanted to buy I basically said we don't have enough new comic material in the library, and they said, right, you've got a budget, you can buy what you want, basically. It's a very, very small summary, not exactly how it works, but like that's how we're gonna describe it here. And I wanted to buy this Trial of Magneto from 2021.
Yeah.
And they sent me an email back like you can't buy that because it has slurs in it. And I was like, I'm sorry, no it doesn't. And they thought I had meant the one from the 80s, which does, in the unedited version, have some slurs in it uh, that were fine at the time, but maybe now there'd been a complaint about it before, basically, and there is a republished version that doesn't have the language in it. I Anyway, but yeah, basically, I got this thing back like you can't have this. It's got slurs in it. I was like, I don't think it does. I think it does have slurs in it. It was only published in 2021, and I was buying this in. This was a couple years ago. I was buying this now. I think I was buying this in 2022, and I was like, it came out last year. I really don't think it has any slurs in it, but like maybe it does.
They were talking about that.
But yeah, so like, but no, I wanted to do this one because, literally when it was being announced, Leah Williams, who was writing, said that like this entire, this is set up by Wanda had been murdered in X Factor Volume 4, Issue 10 at the Hellfire Gala. That was the big drama of the Hellfire Gala that year. And it was very interesting because then Leah Williams, who was writing, um, this said Wanda, she wanted to focus on rehabilitating the Scarlet Witch's image with the mutants on Krakoa, and that her goal was not to write the next defining Magneto story, but to write an empathy engine as a Wanda sympathizer. Like this was one, like she was running the Wanda PR campaign. Like thank you, Leah. I would love to interview her about this. Um, Leah, thank you for doing God's work. For pushing our girl Wanda and for giving her what she deserves.
I mean, speaking of like maybe interviewing, like Lucas Vernick does the art on this. I've been following him on Instagram for a couple of years now. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
follow him too.
I don't know if we're mutuals, but I highly highly doubt it. Um, but like he might be a really cool one for us to maybe try and contact to talk about it because I think he's done stuff for the Wiccan
I
series
think
as
I've
well, hasn't he?
asked him to come on before and he didn't respond, but like you never you never know.
We might have a little bit more pull now.
Maybe maybe we're more famous now.
Maybe. Yeah, so like Leah Williams, I did my own research on this and I saw that Leah Williams quote. It Can I ask, this is after the 2015 series, is that right?
Yes, and it also takes place after the Darkhold
After
event
the Darkhold
storyline.
stuff. But the goal with this, from what I can understand, the goal with this series was to very much give her like a new uh a new perspective of her from the X universe, the X-Men
Yeah,
universe,
it's very
because
much
of the
obvious.
events of House of M, is that
Yes,
correct?
and she had done before. There'd been a couple of failed attempts at rehabilitating her image with the X-Men. Again, the Avengers, I'll be real, for whatever reason, even though she killed a bunch of Avengers, they never cared. Like Wanda's
They're a
reputation was
forgiving bunch.
literally the Avengers like, oh, she killed a bunch of people. They're like, what murder? basically, as opposed to the X-Men who were like, well, she did no more mutants. And so that obviously devastated her reputation within the mutant community, especially after like randomly they were like, and she's not a mutant herself anymore, which makes it genocide and weird. And I like this comic was also intended to kind of soft retcon the whole her and Magneto aren't family
Yes.
thing. It's a very soft retcon because Marvel, I don't think they yet had they were obviously in negotiation for the rights to the X-Men, but they didn't do a full retcon of the Magneto is not her father moment, which I still believe that gun is pointed directly at her and Pietro.
Yeah.
Especially because I think in this new era of mutants, they're gonna want to do House of M. And again, you cannot do House of M if Wanda is not a mutant. Like, if any person, if any executive ever listens to this, I am begging and pleading you, do not do House of M if Wanda is not a mutant, or it's just really bad. Like, it makes no sense if she does not at least believe she is a mutant in that moment. I am screaming, crying, throwing up, begging you to think it through.
Please listen.
Um, but yeah, so Darkhold has already happened. Wanda very much has this moment at the end of Darkhold where she like flies off and she's like, I am free from all my burdens. I'm a new person. Yay me. Is kind of the tone at the end of Darkhold. And we'll discuss Darkhold at next year. We will do the 2015 run and talk about kind of that is the defining modern Scarlet Witch run. I have avoided it up until now because I wanted to go through a lot of the historical context around Wanda because I fear that people don't know her like long history of being a heroine. And also we got stuck in the 90s for a long time because that's just like when I was born. And I turned 30 this year and I was feeling reflective.
Back
Next year
in
we
the
will talk
1990s, I was in a very famous TV show. That's
I was
that.
on Rosie and Jim when I was a kid. Does that count?
That's the opening, me butchering the opening song from BoJack Horseman. Um, yeah, carry on.
Um, so I wanted to cover this because I think that it very much covers the Wanda rebrand, and I think is what Marvel's going to intend to do with Wanda going forward in terms of at some point we'll also discuss the Uncanny Avengers run, but that is long as heck. And the Unity Squad stuff is like a whole this we can do in one episode. And we're just looking for a little episodal moment.
Yeah,
So
you just picked a nice little 5 issue run, a nice
and
little five
it's
issues thing, and
and
it's
it's a fun one to read. Like I mean, I think so. Before we get into what it's actually about, like, what did you think overall? Did you like it, or like you might be like, I actually hated it so much?
no,
But
no, no. I did enjoy it. Like it kind of it didn't really live up to the promise of the title, if that makes sense. I think the title was a little misleading. Um, but
I think they only used it because they wanted to use a historical.
yeah,
Also, it needs to be noted that this storyline was originally supposed to play out over a lot longer in the X Factor run,
yeah, it was
but
cancelled, wasn't it? Yeah.
basically Marvel didn't think that enough people were reading that run for they were like, well, you don't waste this storyline basically, which is so rude because Leah's a great writer and
Yeah.
this could have carried that series, but instead they love a mini serials to Marvel.
It was honestly like the Trial of Magni. I thought was honestly it was a pretty good 5 issue kind of crossover series. Like the Avengers show up, a load of X-Men, you get a load of like really cool X-Men as well, and like it really does a good job at we saw it with the Scarlet Witch and Vision series of this year, kind of like Wanda's power set and like her development as a character in that series, and like we see that here in the 2021 start and this one from
It
2021.
definitely for me also throws back to the Children's Crusade. It reminds me a lot of Children's Crusade
Yeah.
in its tone and sympathy towards.
If I'm gonna say any kind of little niggling thing, I just don't think it's long enough.
No, it should
Um,
be 10 issues for sure.
like there could have been a whole issue devoted to like her not having her memories
Yeah, no, she
when
gets
she's
over that
very
real quick.
really really quickly, and like you really could have done something really cool there, and like properly rung the mill on Billy and the other one, Tommy.
So, Tommy,
Tommy.
hey, hey, Tom, leave Tommy alone,
No,
girl.
I couldn't. I forgot. I remember Billy. I couldn't remember Tommy's name. But like, there's a bit where it's
Isn't
just like I
that
have children. I don't have children, and you know that's very much like swept. It's dealt with very very quickly. Her memories come back. I think it really utilizes all the different varying members of the X-Men, all the really cool members of the X-Men, and Emma Frost gets to be a bit of
Emma
a drama
Frost's
queen in this as well,
constant
which I love
beef
her.
with Wanda, like she never gets off Wanda's neck. It's so funny because obviously Rogue actually had the most beef with Wanda to begin with, like, but that gets covered in the Uncanny of X-Men run, Avengers run, where they kind of make up that beef. But Emma was like, no, I'm never. I'm like to this day, like in Rivals, if you like play Rivals, Emma is never like her and Wanda have never been friends, like in the history of the run.
Yeah.
Never. And I kind of love that for them.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think it's really I think it's a really there's some really great art in the issues. I think Magneto is a really like they really get into Magneto quite a lot. Obviously, he's the title character of the series, and I think they did a really good job with him. Especially when he's being confronted about everything at the beginning, at that thing, and he's like, is it Mr. Sinister? He's like threatening at the council, and it's like I like that the little council meeting, and when I was reading that kind of Dawn of X line, that's all that stuff with this council of Krakoa just was really quite cool. Um, I think the Polaris, like she was really good in the show in the series. I think she really showed herself. To me, as somebody who doesn't read these comics off, as much as some other people, like you know, I think she really showed herself to really want want to be taken as seriously as Pietro and Wanda, because Pietro and Wanda very much come as like a dual thing, and then Polaris is very much by herself.
Hmm.
Um, No, it was honestly it was really cool, and like I like the ending. I really liked I really did like the ending. It really kind of set up Wanda for what I know of it now, know of her now in 2025. Is that am I right in thinking this series kind of led on to what we ended up reading recently, or is there like another thing in between?
No, this was after this they announced the 2020. I still don't think you've read the beginning of the 2023.
I don't think I have, no.
No, but well, we'll get back to that. But it is like yeah, this is the run we've been reading so far is like a follow on. Basically, we've had some kind of Scarlet Witch run since the end of this,
Yeah,
the end of Trial of Magneto. So, Trial of Magneto takes place, like I said, Wanda was killed, quote unquote. Well, she was murdered, as far as we know, at the end of the Hellfire Gala. Always, the Hellfire Gala never went smoothly, and we know this. Um, and then basically we open the comic, and the ruling council of mutants, and that is a thing on Krakoa. They have like a council, and basically they can resurrect any mutant they want.
which is the thing
Um,
they keep very hush hush.
and so they say, and they're debating whether or not they should resurrect her because she's technically a human. Again, this is and the fact that she was the cause of M Day, which is no more mutants. And basically, because there was evidence that Wanda's attacker had magnetic abilities, they're like, well, there's only one magnet guy. And they deem Magneto basically like, did you off your kid? And then the Avengers, they're like, hey, we don't want this girlie on Krakoa. So they invite the Avengers to come and grab her body. Um, and then everyone's kind of cheesed off, is kind of the summary of the beginning of this comic.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then when they were gonna resurrect Wanda, Wanda actually resurrects herself and she's like, "Hi." And everyone's like, hello?" This is why I'm saying in the MCU everyone's like Wanda's dead. I'm like,
No
this
shot.
bitch this bitch is always popping back up. She's like died like four different times now and she's like, "I'm back." And then basically, so just to go back to explain, sorry, my notes are out of order. Just to explain, the Five are a group of mutants who are responsible for Krakoa's resurrection protocols, which is used to restore mutants by recreating their bodies and implanting a backup copy of their mind that was previously recorded to the supercomputer Cerebro, Xavier's girly. Um, but Wanda has resurrected herself in a younger body, and her mind's last backup was recorded before the events of Avengers Disassembled. So Wanda has no memories of like anything. And so she like goes and tries to smooch Vision and is like, "What do you mean you all hate me? Lol." Um, and that's kind of, this is what Nick means, is that we have this moment where Wanda has no memories of anything, and it doesn't go on for very long. You can see how this plot line definitely could have been spread out. Oh, and you can see where the original kind of plan was, is that Wanda would have no memories for a wee while. But basically, they attempt to restore her mind, and she's like immediately overwhelmed by the guilt of remembering the last few years. And this causes her to create physical constructs of monsters to try and like process that um trauma,
Yeah.
shall we say.
Can I quickly talk about the kaiju's?
Go for it, Queen.
They're very Pacific Rim coded. They are they're very akin to the kaiju from Guillermo del Toro's 2013 movie Pacific Rim. Um, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say on that. They're all right. They're pretty cool looking. They just reminded me heck of a lot of the ones from Pacific Rim. But seeing
So,
the Avengers and the X-Men fight kaiju is pretty cool though.
yeah. Meanwhile, like Wanda is going through like an astral moment where she sees a version of her older self. Like, well, she sees kind of these many versions of herself, which is
There's
some of
like
my favorite art. I love this art. It,
there's a panel with her in the middle with older Wanda on the left and younger Wanda on the right, which I thought was a really cool panel.
yeah, and also like all the different versions of herself.
Yeah,
Um, and so basically she is confronted with all of the things that she doesn't want to think about, which I feel like had kind of been done before. This is very much a kind of like, if you don't want to read everything that's happened so far, here's a summary. This was basically a shut up to everyone that was like, "But she did M Day." Basically, this was like, okay, she's thought about it. Now let's like move the fuck on.
yeah. Can we move on now?
Because it'd been so long. The thing is that M Day was so bad that it was so difficult to imagine the mutants ever getting over it. And this is very much a "can you shut up" issue of a. And so eventually, Wanda realizes that she does have a future because there's this older version of herself. This is the one that Lizzie keeps talking about when she's like, "I want to play an older version of myself." And her and herself and all three versions of Wanda kind of come together and they stop the monsters together, resulting in Wanda kind of, they merge together, and then there's like a Wanda with the knowledge of all of the different Wandas at once. Um, and then like the Council of Krakoa are like, "We don't want to explain how resurrection works. So we're not gonna."
Yeah, like Emma Frost threatens Wanda telepathically.
Yeah, she's like, "If you tell anyone, like, you're dead, girl." And then they realize that it was actually Toad. Well, the evidence has shown that it was Toad that murders Wanda. and he's punished, and the Avengers are like, okay, good enough for us. We're off. They were here for such a brief moment. It's again, it very much reminiscent of the end of Children's Crusade, where basically the same thing happens. And then in the Wanda then works together with Polaris, Legion, and Proteus to increase the capabilities of the resurrection protocols. And it's shown that that to do this required her physical death, and that she had recruited Magneto's help in arranging her own death, a suicide disguised by magic to look like a murder. And so, thanks to her plan, Wanda was able to create a pocket dimension waiting room, which now allows all mutants to be resurrected, including those who never had a chance to manifest their abilities through the X gene, or whose minds weren't copied to Cerebro. And this added 20 million mutants to the queue, including everyone that died on Genosha. And so this causes Wanda to be, who had been referred to as the Pretender, to be now called the Redeemer instead. And at the very end of the comic, we see Wanda is now a welcome guest of all the mutants, and that she's telling her story. It's so gorgeous. There's this moment where she sat around the fire and she's telling her story to the children of Krakoa, you can redeem yourself. And it really is okay. She did the opposite of House of M now, so you can't bring House of M up anymore. Is
Yeah.
basically what this comic says. She's saved everyone. So she's can't. They basically gave her the biggest feat possible to cancel out House of M, because you know they kind of needed to. House of M had made her very irredeemable to X-Men fans, and so this is the kind of opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean they brought back what's the name of the main character that we saw being brought back? It was the Native American one. Um where are we? Thunderbird.
I'm looking at a page of notes, so I'm not looking at the Thunderbird. So yeah,
Thunderbird.
we very much see. So it's very much it sets up Wanda's next comic run perfectly, in that she is now redeemed. She is literally the Redeemer, and we see her called that kind of again, rather than the Pretender, which is what she had been being called by mutants for a long time. Don't worry, Emma Frost is still beefing with her after all this. Don't worry,
Yeah, she ain't gonna stop beefing.
So yeah, it's a very good, if you want a self-contained Wanda story that kind of, if you've only read House of M and you're okay, how did Wanda go from House of M to where she is in the comics now? This is the comic to explain kind of where a lot of modern Wanda comes from. She also ditches her costume of the time that was like the 2016 costume, and reappears in her classic costume for absolutely no reason.
There's this
We also see her say that Magneto is her father, which is what I mean by the soft launch of the retcon. She's like you'll always be my dad, and she calls Polaris her sister. Once again, poor Quicksilver, not present, not mentioned. It's funny because Wanda will never be forgotten as a Magneto child, but either Polaris or Quicksilver always will be. Like, Magneto has a favorite kid, and it is Wanda.
it was pretty good for Pietro to kind of send Magneto to the intensive care unit though.
Yeah. But yeah, basically this comic is a okay, we can't fully undo everything we've done since 2015, but here's the best we can do right now. Um, this very much soft launch Wanda as a character, and it's the reason I wanted to cover it, because I feel like if you've come into Wanda and you're reading anything that's happened since then, this is very much Leah Williams very much set up this direction for Wanda as a hero, and yeah, I like it. Do I have issues with it? Of course, I'm always very critical of any media that I consume, but I think it's the best that could have been done with the huge task that was given. That's like, okay, how do you redeem House of M? I think this is the best answer to that question I could have probably come up with.
It it is because we've had multiple disagreements about House of M and Disassembled. Well, say Disassembled, we're kind of on the same page about Disassembled, but we kind of differed very much on where Disassembled went afterwards. You had very much negative feelings, which is very much perfectly valid, and then I had my own thoughts on it, which I don't think were received to be as valid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel that both of us kind of feel like this is very much a really good way, really, really interesting and really, really different way to kind of, clean the slate with that X-Men Wanda history. Um,
Obviously, they didn't kind of know that Krakoa was going to go down the toilet very quickly after this, because the Krakoan age was supposed to last a lot longer.
yeah,
Um,
I think wasn't it like the plan was that Jonathan Hickman wanted to make it run for like do it a limited run, like a much, much more limited, and then
no,
Marvel.
it was supposed to last a lot longer, and then basically it got cancelled, and they were like, no, the Krakoa is now destroyed. End of Krakoa.
Yeah,
The end of the Krakoan age came very fast, and I think probably because the MCU is about to start, and they want the comics to be much more.
synergized.
Hmm. But that's just a heartless guess, a cynical woman guessing. Also, there were vastly different opinions on whether or not Krakoa was good. Like, I'm not an X-Men girly, so I'm not getting into this fight. But like, the girls were fighting over this run. Um,
What do you
so
mean
yeah,
fight? What do you mean fighting?
whether or not Krakoa was a good thing or a bad thing, if you
Oh, okay.
liked the Krakoan concept, if you liked the resurrection, like it, pretty much everyone agrees that the end of Krakoa was messy. As far as I'm aware, again, I don't really read X-Men stuff. I'm not the expert, but I follow online discourse.
I am going to try next year to kind of get through this Dawn of X massive, X-Men run, this Krakoan Age run. Um I think it'd be really interesting to read. I've had a really good, like I said, I've said this before on the podcast. I've had a really good time with Jonathan Hickman's run on Ultimate Spider-Man, and I really, really like. I think about his run on Fantastic Four quite a lot as like one of my favorite runs that I've ever read. The Avengers one, I think I've read it. I don't know. I need to maybe go back and have a reread or first read, but like I would be really interested to kind of read this run all the way through, especially to kind of now getting a taste of it in terms of what the character dynamics are, and understanding where this storyline where um you know everyone's favorite Scarlet Witch, is positioned within this series. So yeah, no, I honestly, Joanna Magneto, 5 issues. I think it's pretty damn good. Lucas Vernax, I'm not going to say this again. Lucas Vernax art is absolutely incredible. I just put up on Instagram, um, asking to interview him because, like, with the image of the roses and the flowers,
Yeah.
signify her bleeding, and honestly, it's honestly incredible. It's one of I literally saw it and I had to kind of stop reading and just try and take in all the details of this panel, because it's so well done. I think Leah Williams is writing in this is very, very good considering she only had 5 issues to play with. I think she did a really, really great job with what she got.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's really worth a read. I definitely recommend it if you like maybe reading long runs isn't your thing. This is a really good if you've only read House of M because that's kind of the for some reason people's number one recommendation for Wanda. Um, this is a good place if you don't want to. Again, I would recommend Children's Crusade next because it's a 10 issues. But if you want to know where Wanda is currently, this is a very good quick little capsule of how they relaunched her as a heroine. And
Yeah.
I think that the role that she may take, if the rumors are to be believed in Doomsday and Secret Wars, wars, um,
Wars.
wars, maybe somewhere along these lines.
Okay. I
Um,
think yeah, yeah.
so
It's a good shout.
yeah, that's that. Before we go, it's time for some promo. Woo 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 promo. As you guys know, we are going to be launching our very own Patreon in January of next year. And we recorded our very first commentary right after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We watched Iron Man, we laughed, we cried. Nick got technical. Me and Amy Lee went on tangents. It's a lot of fun. So that there will be the coffee table sessions. The Patreon will be £5 a month, and you'll get 2 commentaries and like some other benefits to be like fully disclosed. There is absolutely no obligation. This will still be free. All my online content will still be free. You could still look at Nick's pretentious opinions for free. That's going to stay free. In fact, and he'll talk to you about I don't know, what is it you like? Um, Kill Bill.
Uh,
Um,
sure.
like
Gross, gross. Yeah, very, very small
simplification.
opinion simplification. Yeah.
Like, but this will be a little extra. Literally, we're using it basically to fund better equipment for the podcast, a little bit of improvement, a budget.
Well,
I
it's
would,
also to give you guys what you want because you have asked us on multiple occasions to do like talk about the whole MCU as a whole, and like Doomsday is coming out this year, and I think we're kind of everyone is kind of doing a rewatch through. So why not? Why don't we
yeah,
do
it'll
our
be my
rewatch
first
through and
time seeing some of these things like Thor: The Dark World. Um,
since they
I
came
haven't
out?
watched since it like was in cinemas.
I think Incredible Hulk I've only seen once, so
I've seen it twice. I did a Marvel rewatch when I got really sick 2 years ago, and I didn't make it all the way through because I got even sicker. But I did get to Incredible Hulk. It is terrible. It's really bad.
I look forward to talking about it. But yeah,
Um,
so I think what's going to happen is in the next week, definitely before Christmas, you will get more. You listeners will get more details on how to sign up for the Patreon. And on with the plan is we are going to get Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk released to you for free on the Patreon on Christmas, and then it will be Iron Man 2 in the new year as the first commentary, and then they'll be coming fortnightly after the fact. But I think what we're also going to try and do, Hannah would like us to maybe ask you, the listeners, what you want us to cover. If it's non-MCU stuff, let us know what you would like us to do a commentary for, and we'll see what we can do.
Literally, some of you have now started following me for my racing content. If you want to hear me and Nick argue endlessly about F1, we're also happy to do that. Like, just tell us what you want and we'll do it. I mean, I have limits, of course, but whatever you want to see us watch, comment on, you know, Wicked, like, we'll watch Wicked, we'll watch whatever.
Yeah,
We're very,
we'll watch whatever we want us to watch. So, yeah, keep an eye on both of our socials for uh details on the
and
Patreon.
Nick, where can they find you on socials?
And they can find me on Instagram, the film Nick. That's the underscore film underscore Nick. Or on Letterboxd, the film Nick as well, where I'm currently trying to get through some of my unwatched DVDs.
Good.
Um,
There's so many,
I got
girl.
so many. Watched Gross Point Blank last night. John Cusack comedy. There's a hitman that goes to his high school reunion. Pretty good movie, pretty funny movie. Enjoyed it quite a lot. So, yeah,
I watched the 2022 Bahrain Grand Prix last night. No reason.
that's
Tears streamed down.
that's two F1 references you've had. I think we need to
I don't
finish the episode quickly.
I don't care. So you can find me on TikTok at Into the Wonderverse for daily updates Instagram, the Wandaverse, for also daily updates. Same-ish content. Get photos on Instagram, obvi. Um, then you can find me on Letterboxd at Hannah Maximoff, or it might be Hannah Honeymoon, can never remember. You guys can find me or not. Find me on Twitter at the Wandaverse. That's where I'm kind of the sassiest. Haven't really been posting there, so like should probably get back on that. And then our art is by the gorgeous, lovely Lily, who I will love for the rest of my life. She is just so talented. Music by Melody Ray Griffiths. And until I see you next time, stay magical. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
All right, I think we found our blooper for this week.
I forgot it was recording anyway.